Are you a believer or an unbeliever? The Christian answers, yes. Mark chapter 9 verse 24 is the confession of all weak and failing Christians, which means all of us. Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. It was said by a desperate father seeking deliverance for his son. He believes that Jesus can help. He also doubts. But he believes enough to bring the boy to Jesus. Mark chapter 9 verse 21 gives us the context. He brings the boy to Jesus. Jesus asks the boy's father, how long has he been like this? From childhood, he answered. It has often thrown him into fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. If you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for him who believes. Immediately the boy's father exclaimed, I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief. That's the mixture all of us struggle with. There's confidence, there's uncertainty all at once. Confidence and uncertainty mixed in together. You know, it actually has to be that way. There is always this mixture. I mean, think about it. If you come to Jesus and you don't confess to any unbelief, you are coming to Jesus claiming perfection. Unbelief is the heart of sin. If you don't believe me, look up Romans chapter 14 verse 23. Unbelief is the very essence of sin. Therefore, if you claim to be free from unbelief, you're basically claiming to be sinless. There's big problems with that. A, you're not sinless. B, if you claim perfection, you're not exactly coming to Jesus in a spirit of brokenness and need, are you? You're actually claiming a kind of self-reliance. If anyone comes to Jesus and declares their unmixed and unwavering belief, it would sound very much like independence. It would sound very much like what they're relying on is their own faithfulness, and that would be the opposite of faith, right? But no, this Father shows us the way. His prayer is our prayer. I believe, help me overcome my unbelief. I need to pray that every day, because every day I struggle with a mixed faith. Of course I struggle with a mixed faith. I sin. Every single sin in my life is evidence that I don't fully trust in Jesus. Tim Keller paraphrases Luther in this way. Under every sin is the sin of idolatry. And under every act of idolatry is a disbelief in the gospel. Trace back my sins to their source and you will find the foul headwaters called disbelief. That's why Luther says in his Galatians commentary, the article of justification must be sounded in our ears incessantly, because the frailty of our flesh will not permit us to take hold of it perfectly and to believe it with all our heart. I constantly need the gospel, not because I'm a perfect believer, but because I'm a very imperfect believer. And when I get honest, I get in touch with the very essence of faith. Faith is not about relying on some inner quality of belief. Faith is confessing my weakness and relying on Jesus. Which is why we pray, Lord, help. Because actually we can't drum up faith within ourselves. Faith is not something we push out of ourselves through willpower. Faith is pulled out of us by the gospel promises of Jesus. Let me put it this way. There's very little that my wife can do to make herself trust me. But there's plenty that I can do to become more trustworthy. If I just demand that Emma trust me more, it's not going to get us anywhere. But if I demonstrate my trustworthiness, she will trust me. In this sense, her faith in me is not in her hands. It's in my hands. And so it is with Jesus. Faith is in his hands, not in our hands. He grants faith. Not via some impersonal heavenly zapping. He grants faith through revealing more of his own trustworthiness in the gospel. And that's what he does. We pray, Lord, help me overcome my unbelief. We come to him with our meager, mixed faith, and he reveals himself to be utterly trustworthy. In Mark chapter 9, he delivers this boy on the mountain. He commands the evil within him. He lifts the boy by his hand and he sets him free. Can you trust him? This Jesus, he heals the sick, he calms the storms, he feeds the crowds. Can you trust him? He fulfills all prophecies. He speaks divine wisdom. He walks on water. Can you trust him? He dies for sinners. He rises again and he comes to us unbelieving believers saying, peace. receive my spirit, receive my kingdom, receive my life forevermore. Can you trust him? Not perfectly, of course, but amidst the unbelief, can you trust him? Then make this your prayer today. Lord, I believe. Help me overcome my unbelief.